Shut your eyes. Stop your ears. It is too horrible. Too horrible to see. Too horrible to hear. Too horrible to know. Something approaches, inexorable, unturnable, deaf to mercy, mindless and singular in purpose, destined to descend upon you at the unseen hour. Good, bad, or indifferent, all things come to an end. Even the mediocre has its conclusion. Nothing can be more certain than cessation, a final expiry of anything that is, whether that end is in violent destruction and oblivion, in dissipation and entropy, or simply in corruption, like that of the bodies that tenant the graves over which one grim, tweed-clad figure now looms.
So, Dr. Perch, this is where they buried you. I know we didn't end on the best of terms when I murdered you during a therapy session, but you did create me, constructing me from hand-selected dead bodies and bringing me to life in your laboratory. And for that, I am forever grateful. A lot's happened since I killed you. Obviously, your other creation, Greek, swore to avenge your death by destroying me utterly. So then I was on the run for a bit, from both him and the police for a bit. But then that evil corporation, capitalism, am I right? I am right. that evil corporation, the Institute of Unethical Practices, tried to coerce me into doing their bidding, and that just ended up making me realize that I had to come back and face Greek in a climactic showdown. That's pretty much everything that's happened so far. So, I've come to visit you in the hope that I'll have some kind of spiritual epiphany that'll help me track down my nemesis. So, if you want to appear as a ghost now, or like an Obi-Wan Kenobi type figure, manifest as some sort of externalized memory.
Look, Gabriel! We were right! He is here!
Oh, Rufus! We knew you'd be here!
What? How? What? Who else knows I am here? Do the police know? Am I in danger? What's going on?
Now, don't freak out. We're the only ones who have thought to look for you here.
Freaking out?
Nobody knows you as well as we do. We were your foster family and mentors in the first part of this story arc, remember?
And that's how you found me, just because you know me so well?
That's right. We know you best.
And we have your best interest at heart. That's why we came to find you, to offer you comfort and our wisdom.
Ah, good. That's just what I was after. So, how do you think I should track down my nemesis for this inevitable, thrilling confrontation?
You shouldn't.
No, it's a bad idea.
No, yeah.
Really? Maybe it's my density.
You mean your density? Yes.
What
is it?
Oh, it seems like an unnecessary conflict that is only going to result in regrets for everyone.
Definitely a bad end for you, and probably some global cataclysm or extinction event.
You're supposed to believe in me. You're supposed to be my parental figures that tell me to face up to my responsibility and become the hero I was always supposed to be.
No, I don't think you've been a hero in any part of this story so far.
Yeah, and your responsibility now is probably to move to another country and not make any more trouble.
What? Well, the hell with you, then. You can't tell me what to do. I don't need you.
Look out, Gabriella. He's going berserk.
He's proven himself to be the monster that everybody says he is. Run away, Elmore.
You're not my real parents. Who needs them anyway? Who needs parents and a support system? Not me. I can get by on my own. Even if they did know me so well, they guessed I'd come here. Wait a minute. But that's it. Follow me on this catechism, Dr. Perch. Who could find Greek? The person that knows him best. Who knows him best? You do! Dead Dr. Perch! Why can't I ask you to help? Because you are dead! I murdered you! What can I do about that? Bring you back to life with your own machines in your lab? What do I need? Your slowly decomposing corpse? How do I get it? Digging! Here we go! Ah! Here's the coffin! What a shallow grave, wasn't it? Good digging, Strideforth, nonetheless. Now just prise this lid off. Ah! Oh my God. But someone has already stolen her corpse. I've been talking to nobody this entire time. How embarrassing. I feel a fool. But this can mean only one thing. Someone, presumably my arch enemy, is one step ahead of me. I'm as... Odd intonation, I know, but I'm a monster. I must hurry to Dr. Perch's lab to see if I've correctly interpreted this empty casket and this fine sediment of Monologue.
What? What did you say? Do I come here often? No. I don't really get a lot of time off in my line of work. And what's that? You're offering to buy me something to drink? I normally drink ambrosia, but in this case, I guess I'll have a scotch. It's the closest thing. Oh, you're complimenting my dress. Well, thank you. This dress doesn't usually get much attention. It's a kind of a uniform for me. In my line of work, I sometimes travel, and black fits in just about anywhere. I suppose it does fit me well, since I mostly work out of the underworld. What? No, I'm not a bartender in a club in Camden. I'm talking about the literal underworld. You might know it as Tartaros, Tuonela, hell. Yeah. Did you just ask me if I work for Hades? If I work for Hades? You remember Hades, the pathetic thief. But you've forgotten that a woman brings you into the world and a female deity brings you out of it. Mortal, you know me. Remember? Nah, we haven't met. Not that you'd remember me if we had. If you know any of the old stories, you'll know my name. But then why would you? You haven't died. So you haven't had the opportunity to meet me properly yet. I've known you long before you stepped into this dive bar and bought me this drink. I've known you since before you took your first breath. 3 days before you were born, my sisters and I convened. Some might say we're more powerful than any pantheon of gods. Hades and even Zeus himself had to yield to our decisions. My younger sisters planned and wove the tapestry of your life, determining how you would spend your days. My younger sisters. They're the ones that are described as being beautiful. I am described as being grave. Perhaps that's because it is I who decides your death, and I who will cut the thread of your life with my abhorred shears. I am at the deciding end of many pitiful attempts at bargaining, and no wealth, no land, no silver or gold will stop me from cutting and making sure that the underworld claims your soul. Now, because of this, humans have described me as being inflexible. Or as the inevitable. But do they even take a second to consider how difficult my job is? And how necessary. Someone has to do it. Some deaths are messy and loud. I may have gone a little overboard in the medieval period and ancient Rome. That's true, I can readily admit that. But sometimes, in death, I make heroes or heroines, even other gods. I've witnessed the best and worst of the human race. Sometimes it's only I that can make the pain cease and offer the ultimate form of absolution. I have embraced the elderly, the infirm, and the occasional infant. Oh, don't look at me like that. Look, not everyone can be the goddess of love or the goddess of the hearth and home like Vesta. And admit it, sometimes Aphrodite can be even crueler than death. A broken heart can sting worse than any cut from my blades. And in the eons of history, I have never, ever forgotten to cut off a mortal life. That's 4.5 billion years without a workplace accident. Do I ever get Employee of the Month? No. Do I get a cool Marvel movie made about me? Nah. Look, am I greeted with anything but revulsion? Absolutely not. So, instead of viewing me as cruel, why not just say that I'm well organised? That I'm dedicated to my job, that I'm a detail-oriented perfectionist. After all, death can be the pièce de résistance, not just the coup de grâce. Consider, when I decided that a poacher in South Africa would be killed and eaten by the lions he was hunting. It's always nice to use the materials on hand. Ruminate on when I made the owner of the Segway company die after he drove off a cliff while riding a Segway. Contemplate how I had a man drown in the pool during a lifeguard association meeting. I mean, I'm not a total party pooper. I have a sense of style. Speaking of style, it's my round. It's time we met properly. You don't believe me? You fool. You think you can walk out of here and return to the banality of evil, although you mortals now call that Tinder. Your thread is unraveling. It's nearly time for you to see who I truly am. Now, would you prefer to be run over as you step off the curb when you leave this bar? Or would you rather choke on that olive in your martini? It won't hurt much. It will feel like the briefest, tiniest of cuts.
Now, Featherstone, you have far more practical experience than I with these apparatus of reanimation. Perhaps you could take the lead.
What? Me?
Yes, why, it was you that ran the machines that brought me to life.
You're not just going to yell and get me to do all the work?
Not at all. I have the greatest respect for your expertise.
You don't take after her much, do you?
Well, she may be a little different when she comes back, too.
Okay, you start compressions and I'll do the fluids.
Like this?
That's the stuff. Now start with ventilation and I'll start at the generator.
Is it working? Teamwork! Wonderful! Good!
Yeah, this reanimation business piece of cake.
There we go! Look! Look, she's waking up!
I'm alive.
Stop this abominable mad science!
Albert, Rufus, Featherstone, I'm alive again.
Oh, it seems I have once again arrived exactly moments too late.
But you're just in time, brother. In time to greet Imogen here. Once our creator, now our sibling.
That seems complicated and incestuous.
It's honestly, no, it's quite straightforward, really. I gave you both life. You killed me. He brought me back to life. You swore to kill each other, but haven't actually done it yet.
It is complicated and incestuous. And presumably also nefarious, knowing Grick and his evil ways.
He only went evil because you attacked him in a fit of jealousy.
I was only jealous because you rejected me at birth.
No, let's not get into a game of who failed whom as a parent. I know I went through a rather evil phase, but you're not the only one who's been on a journey of self-discovery, Rufus. I've come to terms with my troubled past. I've hung up my knife gauntlets, and I no longer bear you any ill will. See, Imogen is alive again.
And I have brand new eyes to replace the ones that you gouged out.
It's weird that you call her Imogen now.
We just want everyone to be happy and well-adjusted, Rufus.
And that's when I suggested that we should all come here to see the therapist.
Yeah, that's me, hello! Same as before. Therapist and whatnot for these subtypicals like this lot. Had a quite few weeks since we last met. Diary's a bit empty. Started making my own granola. Bit about me there, in case you were wondering.
So why exactly are we here, Rufus? Everything is ideal now.
Yes, Imogen is no longer dead. I'm no longer causing havoc across the city. Our vendetta is called off. It's all wrapped up rather nicely.
Yeah, not about quarter of an hour earlier than usual.
Well, exactly. What about me? Where's my breakthrough? I just feel a bit left out of all this happy family stuff that's all going on with you two.
Oh. No.
It's not like that. You're very important to us.
Yeah, it's not just me, is it? That sounds very, very insincere.
Yeah, as a mental health professional, I can confirm that was lackluster.
Thank you.
Oh, it's just you've never been very nice to us.
You did try to set me on fire.
But she tried to kill me!
Oh, yes, it's a toxic relationship in both directions, certainly, yes.
Perhaps it would be best, Rufus, if you just spend some time apart, time to heal.
I'm being rejected again!
Oh, look out! No. He's getting violent!
Oh, don't worry, I'll give him an injection!
What did you give him?
It was a herbal distillation of Sunshine Folk Palliative Thomas James Smith. Potatoes everywhere.
Floating in the atmosphere, the sun reveals the atlas in the morning. There's dewdrops in the aeroplane, the window's misting up again, it's foggy. Oh, I'd walk round the sky, wings open wide, but it's falling. Oh, I'd fly until night, but the string on this kite is your heartache, heartache. Sunlight drifts across the room as we twist, the altitude is rising. The dust reveals the path it takes, I won't make the same mistake, I'm hiding. Oh, I'd fly around the world, I got wings to unfurl, but I'm worried. If I leave here tonight, who will provide you with your heartache, heartache, ooh, oh. Is it cruel to be kind? 'Cause your love is divine, but it's hurting. And they say love's for life. Why do we fight for your heartache? Heartache. Ooh, I guess you'll have to hold on, hold on, hold on. 'Cause I'm long gone, long gone, gone. It takes time for the pain of love to go. So hold on, hold on, hold on. Passing over evergreens, a night and day of postcard scenes below us. As the sun sets on the silhouette, we've got the nighttime to forget the darkness. But as I close my eyes, your face comes to mind. Girl, I'm sorry. And they say love is blind, but there's nowhere to hide from your heartache, heartache.
Feeling on a better, Stratford?
Yes. Yes, that was lovely. And also, I can see the sense in what you're saying. It's best if I just go. But perhaps I could have a hug from the closest thing I've ever had to a mother.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course you can. Yeah. Here. Yeah.
Yes, how do you like that? Hey, how do you like that?
You murderer!
Yeah, reject me, would you? I'll kill your mother!
That's it! The vendetta is back on!
You'll have to catch me first!
Well, I think we made some good progress.
That's what you think, is it, you quack? How's this for a breakthrough? And next, Strideforth.
Good. I don't think he followed me. Probably afraid. I should be safe here in this old, mostly deserted hotel. The opulent, outmoded, but elegant edifice occasionally occupied by oddballs. Ooh, ew. Yeah, he'll never find me here.
Oh, but he doesn't need to find you.
That's right. Unlike some people, Grick has friends who have his back.
Oh, now, Flem. That's a low blow. Oh.
He's the bad guy.
I'm an anti-hero.
You're a murderer.
That's true, you did murder us.
Well, someone's been reading the Daily Mail. Look, it clearly didn't take, anyway.
No, Grick wanted to get some practice before reanimating your creator and to repair some of the damage you did in world.
Typical, a smug bastard.
So he brought us back to life, and now he's phoned ahead and told us what you've done.
We're probably not much good for out, but at least we get to settle our score with you.
So it's knives.
Knives are on cheating?
Yeah, these are knives. More or less. There we go.
Oh, that was a knife.
That's a good one.
Gosh. So many knives.
A lot of knives.
Some of them are blunter than others, but you seemed so nice before.
To be fair, that was before you attacked and killed us.
Yeah.
And now it's your turn.
That was some impressive and visually thrilling martial arts. But you're no match for me.
Oh, he's got me, son. Oh.
No, no.
And now it's your turn.
No, not again. No. I surrender. Have mercy.
This is an epic showdown. I will defeat Grick and all of his cronies down the stairwell with you. Ha! There she goes. Yeah. Right. Well, that's the henchman taken care of. But where's the end boss? Oh, of course! He's on the roof!
So glad you could join me, Strideforth.
So, this is how it ends.
Yes, a protracted action sequence with a series of dramatic cliches.
I notice that you are completely naked.
Yes, I discarded my clothes along with any hope of psychological balance and emotional normalcy.
Don't you see, Greg? We could have had that. Wait, we could never have had that. We are subtypicals.
Well, which is it?
Well, there wasn't an R on the word never. That
Oh, I'm
threw
so
me.
sorry.
Sorry, we couldn't even have had that. We are subtypicals. Creatures too large, too volatile, too intense, and uncompromising. For this world, we were constructed with all the extremities of humankind. The passion, the ferocity of a dozen people distilled into a single frame. Your peaceful life could never have lasted.
You may be right. We are forces of sublime nature, you and I, Stratford.
So what now? Time to die? Fight to the death?
Either that, or we set each other free. As I will set free this dove that I picked up on my way over here. Oh dear, I seem to have squeezed it a little too tightly. That was supposed to be symbolic.
It's been a long day. I can imagine it. Shall we get on with it then? The brutal rooftop fist fight to the death between two superhumans.
Two creatures with nothing to live for. And nothing to gain, nothing to lose. And I was, no, it would only be an anticlimax. No, you and I. Strideforth, we must flee away to the frozen wastes, to live there as a terror to the human race.
Yes, we shall stalk the night like demons, unstoppable forces of nature, like fears in the pain. Furies to punish these mortals for their hubris. Yes!
And so, a terrible scourge is released on the planet. An end, not for our two antagonists, but for many others. And for peace, and for safety. And an end here, too, dear listeners, to our story. Until it all begins its terrible cycle again, at the unseen hour. We hope that you survived the Unseen Hour episode. Ooh, I've written it wrong here. We hope that you survived the Unseen Hour episode 35, the Dull Sessions number 3500003, Frankenstein 2046. The Unseen Hour is recorded live and monthly, usually on the first Wednesday of the month at the Rosemary Branch Theatre, courtesy of Unattended Items. This episode was performed... Just copied and pasted. This is terrible.
Brutally.
This episode
Greatly.
was performed
Well.
finally,
Anniversarily.
definitively,
Yeah.
by Brice, Stratford, Joey Timmins, and James Carney, and featured a monologue written by Amanda DiGioia and performed by Emily Stride. The musical guest was Thomas James Smith. Theme music by The Unrecorded. The Unseen Hour is an Unseen Things production created, written, and produced by James Carney. This episode was recorded by Ella Watts and Odinn on Hilmarsson. And, really going wrong. And the podcast is produced terminally by Andy Goddard. We all look forward to seeing you here again at the Unseen Hour.